A cultural similarity in art style or something that reflects an anime aesthetic is sometimes easy to spot, and other times much less so. I've heard people complain over the years how similar all anime looks, but it's really crazy going through the decades and seeing just how different the works are, noting just how different some of the crazy art styles and inspirations are, with not just the anime and manga styles of course, but with anime or Japanese-influenced art in general. Still, there is a strong central feeling that I can't quite deny I feel when I look at artwork with a seemingly Japanese influence. While this video is not intended as a source for education of, well, really any kind, I do hope that it can fulfill its goal to just help spread positive appreciation and love for so many different takes and styles of Japanese-inspired art and artists that I adore. If you decide that you really enjoy any of their styles too, I do encourage you, of course, to follow them yourself and fix your own Twitter feed, or maybe even send a commission their way. First, I want to look at some artists that I feel like I should give back to, as they've followed my own work and supported me over my last couple years. The first to mention, because it would be wrong not to, is Lorpo, who I commissioned my profile picture of, the one that I've used for more than a year now. He's also sent me various drawings from time to time out of the kindness of his heart. His style has a ton of range, from very realistic depictions and portraits to cartoony to grim. The tone of his works and what he's capable of, really, from an outsider looking in at least, seem limitless. Although, I'm sure as any artist, he's acutely aware of the flaws he has that I just can't see. The range is just the most impressive to me. But I think that the first thing I really loved were these drawings that clearly have some sort of Japanese influence, but still have a more Western look to them. They remind me a lot of Brian Lee O'Malley and some of his Western comics like Snot Girl, and so on. The next person is even more criminally underrated and has a similar amount of variety to Lorpo, but he leans more in on the anime aesthetic. Snow Yanni has the realistic portraits, which look great, but for me, something that always amazes me is the way that they do perspective. Everything feels almost 3D and has such a real, lived-in feeling to it, even if the style gone for is more cartoony. Something they do as well with these awesome perspectives is pack them full of characters, making them something that you really have to look at for a long time to notice each and every little detail. They go from this slick yet dirty, more mechanical look in some of their drawings to a very warm and homey feeling in others. Some of their works really remind me of Kill la Kill or Gurren Lagann, and that's because they have a similar feeling of high energy and awesome. They also sent me super lovely art unrequested when I had almost no subs, and snuck me into a drawing or two of theirs as well. Something that I absolutely adore that they did though, something that I really want everyone who's watching this to see, is this drawing showing an absolute plethora of characters from prominent KyoAni shows, paying their respects following the disgusting attack that happened earlier this year. This drawing has brought tears to my eyes, and in one image really puts into perspective the wide influence and impact that KyoAni has had as a studio. Absolutely gorgeous. The next artist is Once, who also has made really beautiful art for me. Their style puts the prominent focus on the characters, and they have a very identifiable look and face to them. I really like cute things, and their work really delivers on that, often giving a nice playful edge to their work. It's work that just looks like it was fun. Not that they don't have or can't have more somber and atmospheric art. They put a lot of focus on Little Witch Academia characters, and are probably a little more lewd than the previous two artists. So if this looks like sort of art that you would like, definitely check them out. Their work makes people smile. Or at least me and the friends that I've showed them to.
I've been waiting for this!
Noctillon. I'll admit that this might be a little more niche than the other artists, as most all of the art on their Twitter is of Akihiko Sanada, in various situations. That being said, I've dumped nearly 130 hours into Persona 3 in the last 3 weeks, so Akihiko Sanada is always on my mind. Not to mention probably my favorite male character in the series, at least after playing Persona 3, 4, and 5. It's vaguely spoilery, but if you don't already know, I don't think that you'll figure out what is being spoiled here. The only reason I think I even found this account was because SidSnap retweeted one of their works, and since I'm a big emotional baby, this has made me tear up multiple times. In just a few pages, they drew something that emotionally resonates with my core, and I think the core of who Akihiko is as a character. I love the character, and once again, this sort of cute but also more traditional anime look, maybe someone who was more formal could classify as bishoujo, not that I would know, but it looks like it would come from a professional shoujo mangaka. Anyway, if you like Persona 3, or even just like this style of art, please give them a follow and some love. Now hey, these artists are all from different parts of the world, which does kind of fit with my title, but we're talking about Japanese-influenced and anime-style art, so where are the Japanese artists? This is for anime art, right? Well, before I jump into the Japanese industry and published people that I do have lined up, I actually reached out and flexed a little bit of my JLPT Infor knowledge and got permission from Sekira to show their work as well. They make fantastic art. The sketchy style this Japanese artist has, ominous and epic, is something that I really like, and that I think I also somewhat implement in terms of style into my own art, as well as I see in some more famous artists that I love. The detail, color, and perspectives are something to behold. Everything is so mechanical, rusted, lonely, and vast. The sheer scale of pictures that even at first hand just appear more modest is something really intriguing. It makes me wonder what is going on in this world. What is going on here? I want to know the full story. In the past few months since I found them, they've actually gained a fair amount of followers, but like everyone so far, I think they deserve so many more. So if you want a nicer Twitter feed, they could do a good job filling it up. Those were 5 smaller artists that I wanted to highlight and hopefully garner support for, but now that I've highlighted them, I want to show some maybe better known artists that I also love the work of. The first is Ixi. Similar to Once in a way, a lot of the art they post is very character focused and have extremely cute and bubbly, sometimes more lewd art style. Something I really love though, as weird as it may sound, are the hands. Hands are something notoriously difficult to draw. I've even heard some people say, if you want to know the skill level of an artist, look at how they draw their hands. Well, Ixi seems to set on drawing different crazy poses and articulating each finger in interesting ways. Hand signs can be a really important part of body language from person to person, and it's something that I don't think is represented in art all that often. But Ixi is one of the few artists I see who so well encapsulate expression through hands. The colors also mesh perfectly in this pleasant, easy to look at, and easygoing style, just honestly putting me in a better mood almost every time they pop up. Oh, and of course, like many of the previous artists, the fundamentals and perspectives are so nice and pop out so much, looking like they almost exist in their own third dimension, sometimes looking like they could jump straight out of the screen. And the precision of these angles and curves that so naturally connect and flow from the designs are, while very subtle, honestly astounding to me in terms of talent. Next is TK Miz, known probably mostly for being the creator of Girls' Last Tour, which was adapted into an anime in 2017 and is actually one of my favorites. Their sketchy style is probably most influential on mine, but while I have heard people echo the sentiment that TK Miz's art doesn't look very good or isn't very hard to make, I think that those people miss out on the amount of understanding TK Miz has when it comes to their fundamentals. Maybe it's just me, but like I said, I feel happy in my ability to make backgrounds, but I can't draw a face to save my life. And that goes for TK Miz's style too. I thought that it would be easier to draw something like they do, but it never quite looks right when I try it. TK Miz has a really creative and expressive style, keeping things hyper-sketchy, abstract, and cartoony, giving a lax, carefree air to their drawings while still abiding strong to an understanding of fundamentals. To me, it comes across as a person extremely confident in their ability, drawn with the relaxed fun of an amateur and the knowledge of a pro. Maybe it's just an aesthetic appeal some people like and some people don't, but I am definitely in the first camp. There are plenty more mainstream artists, mangaka, and people out there who I love, and plenty more that I'm sure I'm completely unaware of. This video never aimed to do the impossible, that is, to show in-depth and endless oceans of art that draws some influence from Japanese culture and style, but just to highlight and show appreciation for some of the works and artists that make my days better and my moods brighter, as well as to hopefully put a spotlight on some of these smaller artists or people who make an income doing commissions. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider sharing the video, because it will not only obviously help me, but it will also put more eyes on these artists that they maybe otherwise wouldn't have had, especially with the less mainstream ones. This was just an insignificant fraction of the wide world of anime art, and if interest is there, I would love to make this more than just a one-off video. All of the Twitters were shown on the screen, and all of them will be in the description down below. If you enjoy what I do, please consider keeping me fed on Patreon, like The Single Way Out, Lachlan So Stupid, Akio, A Quiet Respect, Dolphinos, Whizbang2093, Frillneck Lizard, Thomas Greenway, CJ, Sam Lloyd, and all of my other patrons. YouTube ads are shifty, so you guys keep me running. Thanks for making it to the end, and here's the outro.
I've been waiting for this.